Pearce, and you're listening to KCO Radio 97.7. The program is Retrospectives with John Broughton. Hope you enjoy the music. Over and out for now.
Do you recall a time from your childhood when the violin became a real source of interest for you?
Well, the first instrument that was in the house, we hired a piano, and I loved the piano, I loved the chords, but we couldn't afford to keep up the payments. So Dad bought a violin because it cost less, and so I started having lessons, and I suppose when I was probably about 15, started to really enjoy it. Yeah, it took me a while to actually start to enjoy it, but yeah, when I started to get a bit more advanced, started to really appreciate the music that was written, like the Bach, and I started to get into the melodies and stuff. Yeah, but I didn't enjoy it at first. But I got into it eventually. Yeah.
Looking back now, what do you think it was about the instrument that really attracted you most?
Well, I don't think I was really attracted to it. I think I just basically liked music, and the violin just happened to be the one that I was given, and I did what I was told, sort of thing, I just like music, really.
Yeah.
Like before I had a violin, I used just to whistle all the time. Because I used to like, just love melodies. Yeah.
Now, I believe your initial training was in classical violin. Was that the career path you were initially hoping to take with the instrument?
My father wanted me to be a very good classical violinist, and he was just his will was law, so I just did what I was told, really. Yeah. And eventually I couldn't hack it anymore, and
that's when you left for Sydney.
Yeah, no, I went to Sydney and gave it all up. Yeah.
So when you first got to Sydney, what were your expectations, or what were you hoping to find in terms of future prospects?
I didn't have any. Really, I left my violin behind. I just didn't have anything. I just wanted to get away from home. I couldn't stand it any longer. So yeah, I was just like proverbial, sort of run away from home, sort of leave everything behind, and didn't know what was going to happen, and just didn't want to have anything to do more with violin or music. I was just so over it all.
Yeah.
The pressure of it, because that classical world has so much pressure, to be working so hard and to be brilliant.
Yeah, the expectations are high.
Yeah, huge. Yeah. So I just couldn't hack it any longer, and I went to Sydney. I didn't have any expectations really of what life was about. Really, I was such a sheltered little girl, still, And then I landed in Sydney with nothing, hardly any money, no friends, and nothing, and so I just sort of. Yeah, it was pretty rugged there for a while. Yeah.
So what was the series of events that led you to start making contacts in the world of rock and roll music and indeed becoming a member of Mackenzie Theory?
Somebody told me about this festival that I said, why didn't you go there? And so I went. It was at a Rimba pop festival. This festival just outside Sydney, and I went up there, and as you do, you meet people, and I just happened to meet these people who sort of saw me as this orphan waif or something, with no money, no clothes, nothing, and they just sort of adopted me and said, why don't you come and live with us? and from there, they just happened to know other people. They knew this guy called Jeff Cantor, who was running a venue in the middle of Sydney, called the Arts Factory, and it was a very famous venue at that time. And that's where I met Rob Mackenzie. He'd come up from Melbourne to play at this venue, and I met him, and I said that I play the violin, and he said, "Oh, why don't you come and have a jam?" Even though I didn't have a clue what that meant, really.
Yeah.
And then, but when I actually heard him play, it was like heaven. I just heard him play, and I just was totally sort of fell in love with his music, like just straight away. Yeah, it was just like, this is the angels went ding-a-ling.
So, how would you describe Rob's approach to his music?
Passionate, I guess. He loved rhythm, and he loved the blues, and he just really loved playing a real lot. Like he played it for hours and hours, and it was all at the time when we just were meeting up and just thinking about having a band. He was very, very influenced and inspired by all the sort of environmental and political things that were happening at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how the Mackenzie Theory sort of aspect sort of got going, because he was a real great raver. Like he'd just rave for hours and hours and hours about the situation in the world, and especially about profit, the greed and the profit sort of motive of Western civilization. And that was that was the basis of the theory, that this sort of the underpinning of the whole way of life on profit was going to be the downfall of everything.
Ah.
And that was sort of the basis of our music, because it was all based on the feelings of our conversations, about the way that things were going, and how we wanted things to change. Of course, when you're that age, we're very idealistic, as you are when you're 19 and 20.
So it'd be fair to say that meeting Rob and getting involved in that band just totally rekindled your interest in music after you'd virtually given it away.
Yeah, totally. Like when I heard that music, I thought, that's music. Yeah, it was sort of just turned left.
That's a big left turn, yeah.
Yeah, that was huge.
Does it surprise you today that 35 years now since the band has existed, that it's still remembered so fondly, and considering there was only one studio album?
Yeah. Oh, it does surprise me. I mean, it's I suppose a lot of those people are in the 50s, I suppose, and it seems like at that age of your life you do fondly remember that time of your life when you were sort of like really impressionable and incited and inspired.
Yeah.
I think that lots of people in their 50s go through these sort of feelings of, remembering.
Yeah.
And I think that our band was part of that, time in a lot of people's lives.
Mm.
When we were at uni or, going on marches and, demos and stuff, or we were all part of that. And so, I think it's quite natural. And it's really nice, that we are part of those good memories for a lot of people, I reckon.
Do you stay in touch with Rob at all?
I have every year or two, we have a little conversation, yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. Yeah, we're friends. Yeah.
How vivid are your memories of the Sunbury Festival? Your album hadn't even been released at that point, at the first Sunbury you played at. Were you concerned that the band wouldn't be received as well alongside some of the more commercial sounding acts that were playing there?
Yeah, it was scary.
It would have been.
Often when we played, because we were so different to everything else that was happening at that time in Melbourne, like we didn't have a singer out the front, and our sound was very strange. There wasn't sort of thumping sort of bass lines and rock and roll. It was all, very esoteric, I suppose, compared to all that. At times I was scared that we would get, and because it was sort of political, there was a whole political feeling about what we were doing. And, it was before Whitlam, you know, and I know that at that time it was the Vietnam War, and you know, and all the demos and that, and it was, you know, pretty hectic and politically. And I was scared of violence against us sometimes. Yeah.
Really?
Mm.
Wow.
We were on stage. Yeah. Yeah.
Now, I believe there were some other studio recordings before the Out of the Blues album was released that never got issued. Can you enlighten us on those?
No, I can't. I don't think.
Don't recall that?
Really.
No?
No.
Of the very little recorded evidence there is of the band, which recordings do you think sum up more than any other what the band was all about? Do you ever think it was really captured in the way it was meant to be?
Was there a live recording or something? I think there was a live recording on some Sunbury thing.
One of the Sunbury compilations, yeah.
Yeah, I think that was a good one. I think that was the best one. Yeah, but the others were pretty awful.
Yeah.
Mm.
Was the occurrence of Rob's Arts Council grant the main factor in bringing the band to an end? That was.
I think at that stage, Rob was sort of not hitting it off too well with the management. You know, our management, which was Gadinsky and Evans and all them, and because he was getting more and more outrageous politically. Yeah. Yeah, and so it was probably a good idea that he felt that he left. And he wasn't being really treated like, for such a great player, they didn't really know how to cope with him really. And he was a pretty intense guy, you know, he really wanted his own way, and I think he found it hard to work with the management. Yeah. So when he got a grant, I think he was very relieved.
Yeah.
To leave.
A way out. Yeah. Now he went to the UK, and you went with him. What were your plans, and what were you hoping to achieve over there?
Fame, fortune, I guess.
Yeah.
No, but we happened to go at the most ridiculously low point in the music scene in England, where nothing was going on, and so it was really, really disappointing. And we ended up just having no money and just living on squatting, and it was. I really enjoyed it, but it was. We just sort of got into a dead end, I think, musically. Yeah. So it didn't work out, and I came back to Australia. Yeah. And Rob he never really came back to Australia to live. He got a lot of interest from Peter Gabriel and other really good bands, but he never got really involved in the English scene, you know, properly.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then he eventually went to live in America and played in rock and roll bands over there. Yeah.
In hindsight, do you think that probably would have been the best option first up to go to the States and bypass the UK? Yeah.
Oh, definitely. It would have been. Yeah. But you know how, especially in those days, everybody had to go to England.
Yeah, it seemed to be, didn't it?
Yeah, everybody, you just had to go there.
Had to go to the mother country.
Yeah. It was like that at that time. Yeah.
Now, while you were away, the live album Bon Voyage was released. I believe you weren't all that happy about it being put out there.
No, when we did that concert, Rob insisted on the management signing a statement that they wouldn't release the music on an album. But of course, they didn't honour that agreement. Yeah, which was pretty aggravating for us.
So when you came back home to Australia, did you have ideas and plans what you wanted to do with the next phase of your life straight away, or?
Oh yeah, I was very very much wanting to keep playing music. Yeah, and so I gradually got involved in my own bands, you know, like writing stuff, like original music bands that were sort of, and I actually took up playing electric guitar because I couldn't stand being without Rob's electric guitar. So I got an electric guitar and started playing chords like trying to sort of fill the space.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, for a while. Yeah.
So how far did you get with that?
Oh, I played in a band for a while.
Yeah.
And made up songs. Yeah, yeah. But I didn't become a great guitarist at all. But I just played guitar chords like a bit similar to what he used to play. Yeah, because I just missed that sound so much. Yeah.
When I was planning for this interview and looking around on the internet, the more I looked, the more musical projects I found that you'd been involved with over the years. Do you get a little restless staying in the one musical territory for too long?
Well, let's see. I think a lot of the groups that I played in, they just didn't actually last very long. Because a lot of musicians can't actually just do one thing. It doesn't earn enough money.
Yeah.
So you have to actually be always doing different things, which is frustrating. but it's just the way that the music scene is. Yeah, you always having to be either moving on or doing about 10 different things at once.
At once, yeah. Just want to pick out a few of them here. We get you to tell us about them. Women and Children First. What can you tell us about that one?
That was with Sandy Evans. We started off, she was playing as a trio, then with a piano player, I can't remember his name now, but he left, and then she asked me to play with them with Tony Buckler and Steve Elphick. So it was a 4-piece, and we started doing gigs around. It was very exciting, and that was my first sort of entry into the jazz world, I suppose, at all. And then we did tours, and we went around Australia with a band, with her band, and we're doing all original music, and it was pretty outrageous music. Yeah, I really enjoyed it though.
And another one called Curried Grooves.
Oh yeah, that was an electronic sort of groove band. That went after I moved up here to Byron Bay. Yeah, that was with Tony. He was doing all the dub sort of grooves and electronic sounds, and we had sitar, we had I just really enjoyed that, like playing lines and melodies over really electronic grooves. Yeah, it was great. Yeah, that went on for a little while. Yeah, but nothing ever lasts so long because it never earns enough money.
Yeah. And another one, you're working in a duo called Wild Strings, which sounds fantastic.
I'm doing that at the moment. Yeah, we put out an album at beginning of last Christmas, and yeah, that's another woman and I. We're doing all these different pieces, like from some of them are original, some of them from Celtic. She's Laura. She's a Celtic fiddler background. She's from England, and she's living here now. And so we're sort of finding common ground, and we write our own songs, and also we play some European, sort of Macedonian, Bulgarian tunes, and we're just finding a whole collection of tunes that sound good with two string instruments. I play viola sometimes the violin. We use electronics, and we sing a bit too. Yeah. Yeah.
I was having a listen to a few tracks the other day on the internet. Sounds fantastic. Really exciting project, that.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
So, what qualities do you think you look for in musicians to make them musicians that you like to work with?
Well, I like to work with. Well, it's always changing. I guess at this stage in my life, I guess I did a show last week where I was working with a singer, and we're doing sort of like a cabaret show, like that went on for 2.5 hours. And he's a really good singer, and I thought I really enjoy somebody who stands at the front, really loves singing. I really love playing behind them, and it's really nice to not be in the front. but just to be in the back and have like playing really good lines behind a guy that really loves singing. Yeah, I like that, you know, and I really love playing with a great bass player, you know, like who's got a really funky feel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tremendous. So how long have you been up at Byron Bay now, Cleis?
Well, my son, he just turned 18, so we just moved up. I just moved up here just before he was born, so 18 years, yeah.
And you've been involved in another creative outlet away from music. You're involved in doing some artwork as well. How important is for you to have that second creative outlet? Does one influence the other in some ways? Yes, I do like doing the visual art. I often just at the moment I'm going through a very busy time this month, and so it's hard for me to talk about visual art because I've had to lay it to the side. But in December I'm hoping to go back to it. But with the visual art, I feel a lot of freedom. Yeah, that I can, and it's very, very exciting because it's like a new world, and I feel a lot freer than I generally do with standing. Music has been a lot of hard work. Yeah.
For me, continually a lot of hard work to just keep my shops happening, and just because I'm having to I've had to play in lots of different groups and always be learning different repertoire and sort of trying to keep up with everybody else's different styles to be able to play with them properly. But when I do visual art, it's just my thing.
Yeah.
I can just be what I want. And I can just sort of, go anywhere.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter. It's good. I like that.
It provides it provides a release, I guess, from music.
Yeah, it is. It's great, and I just love colour, and it's just my mum was an art teacher, so when we were all little, we had art everywhere. Like it was just like part of it was life. Art. Visual art was life. So it's great to actually. It's like my roots. Yeah.
So just before I let you go, upcoming plans. What can we expect to hear from you in the foreseeable future?
Well, I would like to put out some. I don't really want to make another CD because, to me, CDs are a real. There's too many CDs. It's bad for the earth to have so many CDs around. So what I'm thinking of is I've got lots of very beautiful tracks on my computer, and what my aim is to take some time off and next year, because I do a lot of teaching to earn the rent, and I'd like to take some time off and go into a studio and record some of these really nice compositions of mine, and just put them, sell them on iTunes. Yeah.
Oh, wonderful.
I'm not really into making more CDs.
Yeah.
So I'd like to do that because I've got a lot of beautiful music. And my son is a really crash hot drummer.
Uh-huh.
And he's really into not loops, just like I don't know what's it called, like drumming that you do on the computer. Programming, that's it. Yes. He's really into that. And so what I'm thinking is I might get him to do the programming for my tracks. Yeah. So that's one of my hopes for next year. Yeah.
Oh, fantastic.
As well as doing a lot of visual art to go with it. Yeah.
Wonderful. Busy times ahead.
Yeah.
Cleis, thank you so much for your time. It's been an honour to speak with you, and
you're welcome.
Many of us consider you one of Australia's musical treasures, and we're so glad you're still making some fantastic music.
Oh, that's good.
Take care, and we'll be in touch.
All right, hey.
Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.